you all so much for joining me today. I've got a new little setup here, so hopefully I can read your comments as we go, which is very exciting. And so thank you all so much. I can see that for some of you, your Poinsettia goodies have started to land already, which is amazing news. But yes, we're working incredibly hard to make sure that your orders get out as quickly as we can. Now, just to address a couple of comments from the Facebook Live on Monday, I think it was. This week's all just rolling into one. It feels like, I don't know, I thought it was Monday yesterday, I thought it was Tuesday today, all very confusing. But anyway, so just to address a couple of comments from the Facebook Live from Monday. So I know it is a little bit echoey in here, but the reason for that is the room is literally empty. So all that is behind me here is literally all that's in the room at the moment. So with kind of COVID and things like that, we are waiting for furniture to be delivered and all sorts. So hopefully, once the furniture gets in here, it should be an awful lot better, and hopefully it should kind of deaden the noise a little bit, because it's literally just 4 walls and a floor at the moment, along with my desk. So fingers crossed, that should help. We're also looking at putting some soundproofing tiles on the ceiling as well, for all the full room soundproofed. It seems as if we just need to kind of try and deaden the noise a little bit, so we are working on it. I know a few of you said about buffering. Obviously, that can very much be dependent on your device at home as well. So what we are finding is we are broadcasting and it's coming out fine from our end. Our internet speed and everything is perfect, but it can actually be a problem with either your device or your internet speed, which can cause it to buffer. What I always do is I always download the videos afterwards and pop them onto YouTube, so you can always catch up later, or you can also always catch up on the page as well. So hopefully that should answer a couple of questions for you all. And we are working incredibly hard to get your orders out. The only thing that is slightly against us is our courier has been that busy that they've been coming to collect a little bit later. Which what that is meaning is sometimes some of the orders that we've booked on for next day delivery aren't actually getting there until the following day. But it's just because of a little bit of shortages in the depots and things like that with the current situation. So we are working with our courier team for that. But just to bear in mind that if you get an email saying that your parcel's been delayed or anything like that, please don't stress. It's probably just because there's a bit of a staff shortage in one of the depots where it's en route. Okay, I think that is everything that I have to update you all on this week. But we have got today, basically, it's just going to be a huge crafty session, and I'm just going to make loads of cards. That is basically the plan for today. So I've been busy in here all morning and I've been prepping. I've prepped 3 different demos. So I'm going to be showing you the Grande Poinsettia along with the gorgeous papers. I'm going to be showing you the holly tag. I'm going to be showing you the 3D embossing folders. What other demo have I got? Oh, the layering stamps. I've got a demo prep with the layering stamps as well that I'm sure you are all going to absolutely love. Thank you all so much for your comments. Let me just have a little read through. I've got a new little screen in front of me here, so I don't have to have it on my computer. It's all getting very technical now, isn't it? Okay, hello to, oh, I've just hit something here. Hello to Lexi, hello to Linda, hello to Aileen, hello to Trisha, and hello to Sue. Thank you all so much for joining me. Oh, happy birthday, Kathleen. I hope you have a fabulous day. Sarah, mine were collected from Chloe's but delayed. Right, Sarah, I've just mentioned that within the Facebook Live. So what we're finding is if, obviously with the current situation that we're in with kind of COVID-19 and everything, there can be some delays in the depots. So if you have had an email to say your parcel's been delayed, it's probably just been delayed in one of the depots. So basically the couriers are keeping you up to date as to what's happening. We are working with our courier company to kind of try and resolve this, but some of it is a little bit out of our hands. So if you've had a text to say that your order should be delivered today, but it's been delayed, it should be delivered to you tomorrow. But if you want to email and we can have a double check, that's fine, but that is what we are finding is happening, so please don't worry at all. Thank you all so much for your comments. Oh, and see, Anne's watching in Australia as well. So what I think we'll do today as well is actually, as I keep going, I am going to, what we'll do, we'll make the cards, keep leaving some comments throughout, and then at the end I'm going to have a right scroll through the comments and I'll pick 3 winners if I do 3 projects. If I only do 2 projects, I'll pick 2 winners, but I'm hoping to get 3 in. So, we'll pick some winners and we'll send some cards out at the end of this tutorial as well. So, hopefully you all enjoyed Monday's video and you saw that the Poinsettia collection launched on Monday night. Oh my word, you guys all made the website incredibly busy. We had so many orders and I honestly can't wait for you all to get them home and start crafting with them. It's always lovely being able to see what you're making at home. So today we are hopefully going to give you a little bit of inspiration, a few different ways to be using these fabulous new stamp and die sets. So there's stamps and dies, there's embossing folders, there is lots and lots of different goodies that we're going to be showing you today. Okay then, so I'm going to get started. I'm going to pop the overhead camera on. I had this all lined up so it was all straight, but let me just see if I can shuffle it around before I pop the camera on. Turn that around. There we go. Okay then, so we are going to be working on 3 different projects today. This is the very first one that we are going to be doing. So this is actually one of Barbara's cards, but I just thought it was so pretty that I thought this was definitely a project that we really needed to make in today's Facebook Live. So you can see how we've got the beautiful poinsettia flower in the corner here. We've also got the papers on here and we're using some of the fabulous dies as well. So you can see how this full collection is going to work perfectly together. So to get started, I'm going to show you how to build up this fabulous poinsettia because you can see all of the different kind of layers and things like that we've popped onto here. Okay then, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by building this fabulous poinsettia up here. So what I've done is, for this project, all of the colours have actually been taken from the Pearl card and paper pad. This one's the Winter Wonderland and it is absolutely gorgeous. We've got so many different colours within this pad. We've got the reds, we've got the blues, we've got silvers and we've got white in here as well. And you get this in paper and card. So the paper is, let me just double check this. The paper is 185 GSM and the card is 300 GSM. So it's brilliant for mats and layers. It's going to be great for building up your flowers as well. But you can see how we've got all of these fabulous colours in here and it is all double-sided pearl paper and card as well. And we put these little watercolour sheets in at the front as a little bit of an extra for you all there. Okay, so you can see how we've got all of these beautiful papers and cardstock in here. Okay then, so what I did is I took 2, well you need 2 sheets really, you can probably squish it on but I took 2 sheets. So you're going to take your palest blue from that paper pad to start with and we're going to give it a dust with an anti-static bag. So to do that I'm going to take this one here and just give it a little dust over like so. Okay, so we're going to just dust over with our anti-static bag. What that's going to do is it's just going to get rid of any fingerprints or anything that might already be on the paper or card. Okay, I can see a few of you are leaving comments saying about it's breaking up. We are honestly using all of the same, we've got the same cameras, everything that we always use, so it could just be a bit of an issue with Facebook. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just keep going. This video will be recorded and it'll be popped onto YouTube later and I'll keep it on the page as well. So hopefully you should be able to catch up that way. I just don't want to kind of stop the video and start again when everyone's kind of joined us and is watching. Hopefully, please do just bear with us or maybe leave the video and rejoin. That might kind of solve the problem for you. Okay then, so we've got our beautiful pearlescent paper here from our fabulous paper pad and we've got our gorgeous stamp as well. Okay, so this is the Grande Poinsettia and this is an absolute whopper of a stamp. Okay, so you can see it is a really nice large image. So I'm going to grab in my Wow Clear Embossing ink pad, okay, and I'm going to ink up my stamp. So we're going to ink this up like so. So lots and lots of tapping all over the image. Now to make this particular flower, we are going to need 2 of these stamped and embossed onto the pearlescent paper. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do 1 to show you because I've already got 2 that I've done already and let the glue dry and everything. So I'm going to take my stamp, I'm going to stamp it down in the bottom corner and you want firm even pressure all over the image, like so. Okay, and then we're going to lift this up so you can see when we lift this away, you can I don't know whether you'll be able to see that on the camera actually. Maybe you'll be able to pick that up. We've got a very, very faint image of the beautiful poinsettia. Okay, so what we're then going to do is we're going to grab in a piece of scrap paper. I'm going to fold that in half. What I do always like to do as well is give my paper a little dust with an antiseptic bag. Like so, and what that does is it just helps any embossing powder or glitter that we're going to be using not stick onto the paper. So I'm going to use this one here, sprinkle it over. So this is the metallic silver superfine wow powder that I'm using on this one, and you can see how it picks up all of the detail on that stamp. So I'm going to pop that back into the jar, like so, and then we're going to heat this up. Okay, so I'm going to use my heat gun. Left my dual speed one at home, so I'm using my old heat gun today. And all we're going to do is just hold that heat gun still, and then as soon as we see that powder start to melt and change, like always, we are just going to move the heat gun over the image. And you can see how easy this is to do as well. So we're just kind of working around, heating this up, and you can see how it goes from that dull grey to a lovely bright silver. There we go. Okay, so you can see how fabulous that is then looking. Oh, I've missed a tiny bit there, I can just notice. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to hold this stamp up again, just to show you. This is probably going to be the hardest thing for you to see, but you know, I'm going to challenge it. So, can you see, there we go. Can you see how on one of the petals, you've got that little notch? Oh, you can see how grubby my acrylic block is as well. So you can see how we've got that extra little bit of polymer, okay? Now that extra little bit of polymer has been designed to match in with the little notch on the die, okay? There we go, you can just see this one here, okay? So that little notch means that that is the petal that's going to line up when we come to doing our stamping and embossing. So if you remember which petals have got the notch on, you're really easily going to be able to place your die over the top like so, ready to run it through your die cutting machine. So what I've got here is just a little bit of low tack tape. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm going to have to lean in a little bit. I don't know whether you'll see my head or not when I lean. Okay, so just going to place that down under here. Like so, and then we're going to tape that into place. Okay, I'm going to run that through our die cutting machine. Now these dies will fit through your Gemini Junior as well. I'm using my big Gemini today, and to be honest, when I'm doing my die cutting with these dies, I use my base plate. You can tell how long I've had that base plate, it's been literally years. My plastic chip. Okay, and then my die cut side up with my cutting plate on the top. Okay, I'm then going to run that through my Gemini. So we'll just let that run through, like so, and then we're going to grab it when it gets to the other side. Oh, Angela's noticed a pink stamping mat. That's something that's coming very soon. Okay. So we're going to take this away. This isn't quite the right shade of pink though, it's changing ever so slightly. Okay, this one's the sample one, but I thought I'm going to have to use it today. So you can see how we've got that beautiful poinsettia die cut out. And what's really cool about this die, and what we do with all of our flower dies, actually makes the production a little bit more expensive because we end up using more metal, but it is 110% worth it. So you can see how we put the cut line straight down to the middle of the flower. So what that means is when we come to shape these in a little while, it's going to make it so much easier. So what we're going to do now is take our Dries Clear PVA glue with the fine tip applicator. Okay, I'm going to use, this is my new obsession, not that one. Let me find it. So organised before, my silver gilt glitter. Now seriously, if you didn't go for the bundle, okay, and you were just going to go for one glitter, go for this one because look at that. Oh my word. It is seriously, it is like just bling in an absolute, it's just amazing. I'm so sorry if the camera is shaking when I move, but basically I've got the camera on a pole and it's very technical here. I'll put a photo on the page afterwards because it'll probably make you all laugh. But we are so technical that yes, the camera is kind of stuck together with parcel tape at the moment. But you know, it's working for now, so we'll just keep going with it. Maybe we need to put a little bit more tape around it, who knows. Okay then, so what we're going to do is take our Dries Clear PVA glue, which comes with that fabulous little fine tip applicator. You do buy it separately because basically once you've got your metal tip, if you look after it, it's going to last you a long time. So to look after that, what you need to do is just when you're not using it, obviously soak it in some boiling water, and that'll just mean that it doesn't kind of get all clogged up and things, and you get a stainless steel pin with it too. Okay then. So what I'm then doing is I'm just going in and randomly adding dots of glue onto the poinsettias, like so. Okay, and then we're going to cover them with that amazing silver gilt glitter. Okay, so are you ready for this? Are you ready? I love this glitter so much. It's just like, it's just bling in a pot. Okay, so we are literally going to shake it over. And oh my word, can you see that sparkle? It is amazing. So you've got silvers in here, you've like got crystallines, you've got, I can see kind of yellow and purple tones as well, which is really cool. So we're going to tap off the excess, like so. And then you can see, look at the sparkle. It's like we've just covered it with jewels or sequins. It looks amazing, okay? So this is silver gilt on the Grande Poinsettia stamp. So I'm going to pop that one to one side because I've got two that I've already done, okay? And they've dried basically. So we're going to kind of use those ones. I'm just popping this back into the, look how carefully I'm popping this back into the jar as well. Making sure I do not spill a scrap of this one. I just love it so much. There's a story to this glitter as well, because originally it wasn't meant to be in this collection, but I really liked it so much that, yeah, it just had to be in. So the collection had to work around that glitter. Okay then. So, what we're going to do now is, we've got these two here. So these are the ones that I've done, that have dried. So they are looking fabulous. I'm going to push those to one side. I'm going to take a piece of white card. So this is just plain white card, and I've got myself some heat resistant acetate, which I've got over here, and I've also got a double-sided adhesive sheet. Now like I say, this is actually one of Barbara's projects that I'm making today. So Barbara, if you're watching, I really do hope that I'm doing this one justice. Okay, see Kathleen's just asking what is the size of the flower. So the size is, let me pick the packaging up. These are all on the website as well, by the way. 13 centimetres square. Okay, so it is an absolute whopper of a stamp, it's huge. So what we're going to do is, we are going to take a piece of double-sided adhesive and we're going to stick this onto just some plain white card. So I'm going to roughly trim around. If you're noticing that my fingers are looking a little bit green as well, it is because I have been stamping this morning with obviously a green ink pad. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to peel the backing away from here. Okay, I've even got a bin and everything now in here. It is fabulous. We're going to stick this down on our white card. Okay, and then we're going to pop our die in the middle. I'm going to grab a little bit of low tack tape and run that through. It's going to go there, and that's going to go there, and then we're going to run that through our die cutting machine. So for speed, I'm just going to use my junior plates because it's just a bit quicker, isn't it? It goes through in half the time. So I'm going to run that through. Like so. So we'll just give that a couple of seconds just to run through, and I'm going to grab that out the other side of the machine. Okay, and then we're going to take this out. Okay, so you can see how we've got that poinsettia die cut. So that's a double-sided adhesive sheet with a piece of card on underneath. Okay then. So what we're going to do now is we're going to peel the back off here. And again, we are going to get in with that sparklicious glitter. Now I'm not actually going to use silver gilt for this layer, I'm going to use a little bit of a finer one. So let's get the back off the double-sided adhesive to start with. Get rid of that little bit of green glitter as well, because I don't really want that ending up in a different jar. Okay then, so we're going to go in with our glass slipper glitter. Okay, that is a bit of a tongue twister, that one, I have to say. So we're going to cover this fabulous poinsettia with the glitter, so you can see how this is a much finer glitter. Work it in and cover this. Do you know what as well? I'm thinking this year these poinsettias would look amazing on a Christmas tree, wouldn't they? How fab would they look? You could do them in all different colours as well. You could do them in more contemporary colours like the rose gold and pinks. That would look fabulous. Okay, so this one's glass slipper. So this is one of my favourite glitters. In case you haven't noticed, I'm using it on everything. Okay, so if I hold this one up, can you see the sparkle? It is almost like we have made our own amazing glitter board. Okay, it is absolutely dazzling. So that one's a glass slipper on there. So I'm going to pop this back into the jar. Right, so I'm going to move my hands in my paper a little bit over the bin as well, just to get rid of any excess there. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to pop those layers that we've done over to one side, and we're going to stamp one on the heat resistant acetate. Okay, so to do that, I've got my heat resistant acetate over here. I always end up losing this as well when I'm demoing and showing you anything. I always put it down somewhere like really random, and it just it always goes missing. So I'm going to take an anti-static bar and give it a good dust over. There is actually something on there, by the way. So we're using heat resistant acetate, and it is so important that your acetate is heat resistant when you're doing this technique. So I've just got my stamp, it's actually on the table in front of me, just below my mat here. And I'm going to use my Wow clear embossing ink pad, and I'm going to just ink my stamp up. So to do that, we'll just ink over the image, like so. And then we're going to place this down. See if I can see. We've got so much light in here, it's really hard to see where the acetate is. We're going to place that down and press. So again, you want firm even pressure all over the stamp, and then we're going to lift that off. Okay? Don't know whether you'll be able to see that at home, but there is a very faint image of a poinsettia on there. So we're going to take our metallic silver, super fine Wow powder again, and we're going to sprinkle that over and top off the excess. I'm going to pop that back into the jar. Like so. And then we're going to heat this one up. Okay, so I'm going to grab our heat up. And again, all I'm doing is just chasing that embossing powder. Like so. And then we're grabbing my scissors. Now I've left my normal little tonic scissors at home, so I'm using these Fiskars ones. But oh my word, they are incredibly sharp, I have to say. Okay, so pop that acetate away, and then I'm going to cut this out. So to do that, again, honestly, wouldn't bother using my die to cut this out, because what you'll find is, because we basically put embossing powder onto plastic, like it's a plastic onto a plastic in effect, you will find that the pressure of your die cutting machine will cause it to crack. So I just tend to use my scissors because it's a lot easier, and You don't even have to be too careful when we're putting out either. So, I'm going to trim this round. Like so. And then pop that in there, okay? And then you can see how we've got that acetate flower. So what we're going to start doing now is put the poinsettia together. So we're going to take our base layer and we're going to leave this one pretty flat. So this one is your one that we've glittered with glass slipper glitter. So worried I'm going to get my tongue in the right twist with that one, aren't I? Glass slipper glitter. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to take our next layer. So this is going to be one of those beautiful blue paper flowers. And we're just going to pinch down the middle. So you can see how we're just pinching down the centre of those petals. Okay, and it's just adding that a little bit of dimension onto the flowers. Okay, so we're just going to work around adding these in. So that's going to be our next layer. So I'm going to stick these together in a moment. I'm going to do it with 3D glue gel. And then what we're also going to do is we're going to take our next layer and on this one we're going to curl the petals. Like so. So that gives it like a different dimension. So when we start to build these up, you can see how you start to get the different layers. So to stick these together, I'm going to use a little bit of Macalal 3D glue gel. Okay, I honestly tend to find that this is the best for sticking your flowers together, to be honest. Over time I've used like a glue gun, and what you tend to find is over time, I don't know, the glue kind of, I don't know whether it dries out or something, but it just doesn't tend to hold them so well. Whereas I find this, once it's on there, it's kind of really going to grab them. So what you can do is just twist and rotate your petals so you're quite happy with how that flower is looking. I'm just going to turn that to face me just so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, and then I'm going to take my acetate layer to go on the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these petals up towards the centre. I'm loving how creative you were all getting in the comments as well with your Christmas tree ideas. So Linda says her tree's black, so a silver one would look great against it. It definitely would, wouldn't it? I'm going to do it this year. I'm going to find a tree. I'm going to get a tree and it's going to have all poinsettias on, I've decided. So you can see how we can then add the acetate layer onto the top. So what we're going to do is, I'm just wondering, should we glitter it first? I think we should. That makes a little bit more sense to me. Okay, so let me just squeeze my Kalal. I always like to squeeze like a little bit out of the end of my Kalal and then put the lid on as well. Because I just tend to find it creates like a little bit of a seal so it stops it getting blocked. So I'm going to pop that to one side. I'm going to take my acetate there. And we're going to use another Sparklicious glitter. It's like, we just went to town with this card. I think when Barbara made it, she just wanted to use all the Sparklicious on it that she could. So we're going to use, is this Twinkling Starfall? Starfall, sorry. The stencil's Twinkling Starfall, isn't it? So this is our Starfall Sparklicious glitter. So you can see how it's just got all of those little stars in there. And it's also got a slightly finer glitter in there as well, but it is holographic. So you get all of the different colours around it reflecting. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go in again with our Art Glitter Dries Clear Glue. So as you notice, I use this for pretty much everything. It is so useful. So we're going to go in and add our little dots onto here. And again, it's just random. It's random dots. You don't have to be too precise about it. You don't have to be too careful or anything like that. We're just adding little random dots on here. Okay, and then we're going to cover this with our Starfall glitter. Okay, and you can seriously see all of the bling and sparkle that's in that glitter. It's amazing. So what we'll then do is tap away the excess. Okay, and you can see how we've got, oh, there we go, I'm trying to figure out this camera. There we go. You can see how you've got all of those little tiny stars on the poinsettia there. Okay. Oh, I'm loving that idea as well, Janice. They would make a great topper on top of a special Christmas present. They certainly would, wouldn't they? I love doing that at Christmas. I love wrapping all my presents up and doing like handmade gift tags and bows. I go really over the top with all the wrapping. I do like it because I think it makes the tray look nice at the bottom as well, doesn't it? I have been known to wrap empty cardboard boxes and put them at the bottom of the tray just to make it look nicer. So I'll pop that back into the jar. That one does always seem to expand quite a bit. So I'm going to just give this a little dust down. Just get this all off here. This was a little bargain. This was from like being Embossing or somewhere. Little sweeping brush, very handy to have. Okay, right, get rid of that. Pull my mat back in to make sure you can all still see. I had this mat perfectly straight to start with. I think I'm going to have to end up like taping it to my desk, so I don't move it. Right then, so we'll pop this acetate layer on the top of our beautiful poinsettia. Okay, so I'm going to pop that down and I want something to squish it with. Paintbrush will do. So what I like to do is I put a big blob and then just squish my acetate layer down. So if I hold that up, okay, hopefully you can see. So what, I'm going to put the other camera on so you can see the dimension on this camera perfectly. Can you see how those top petals are really quite raised? Okay, so it just works perfectly. I'll pop the other camera back now. There we go. Okay, so you can see that from above as well. Right then, so I'm going to pop that down and I'm going to grab in my beautiful little bling box. Okay, now have you all been going for this on the website? I know you have because these have been going crazy. But this is our brand new bling box. Firstly, look at the size of that box compared to my hand. It is huge. You are getting this box and it is absolutely packed with bling. So within here, you've got green, red, blue and gold. Okay, you've got them in 5mm, 6mm and 8mm. So basically, what we are doing is we've thought about all of this. So the 8mm are perfect for the middle of your flowers. You've got your 5mm for embellishments and your 6mm are just a nice little size to have in the middle. So I'm going to grab one of these beautiful blue jewels to go in the middle. I'm actually just going to stick this down with a little bit of PVA glue. I just noticed a comment, I think was it Jackie? Jackie's asking about the stamping blocks, the acrylic blocks. We haven't got a date for those again yet, but just sign up to the emails on the website. We've been sorting out the packaging for those over the last couple of weeks, so hopefully it shouldn't be too much longer now. Okay then, so I'm going to squeeze this down. I'm going to pop my pin back on the top of my glue and I'll pop my little bling box away for now. It's got a really strong little clasp on there as well. So when they're in there, the lid's not coming off. Okay? So I'll pop that to one side. Just shut the drawers next to me there. But you can see now how we've got that beautiful poinsettia made up. So what I'm going to do is pop that to one side and allow it to dry. And while that's drying, we'll build up all of our mats and layers. So we're using one of our beautiful large fancy layering dies, and we're also using the basic squares. So let me just see if I can grab those in to show you. Sorry if the camera moves then, I did kind of just push on the table away on my chair. Right, let me grab these in to show you. So using our fabulous layering dies, okay? So we've got the basic squares to do this one, and we've got the fancy squares as well. So what we've done, I've already pre-die cut these because I just thought to save on a little bit of time, is I've taken, so I've started with the second largest one in because that cut my card blank. So this was an 8x8 card blank. I literally took it and I lined up the die and just overhung it off the edge. Okay, so you can see how that's then kept the fold in my card, and it's going to create me a fabulous shaped card blank. So what I've then done is taken another one and I've die cut it, so this is exactly the same size, so it's going to sit on the top and that's then going to give me that lovely shape all the way around. So I'm going to stick this on to my card blank now, so I'll use a little bit of Collal all-purpose glue. a little bit of this just onto the back of here. Okay, and then we're going to stick this down onto our card blank. Like so. And I do like to use a wet glue to do this because it gives you that little bit of time to kind of manoeuvre this around and get it so it's right. Okay, so you can see how that's then started to come together there now. So we've basically got a card blank that's going to stand up, but you've got that fabulous shaping around each side. Okay, so you can see how that's all starting to come together there now as well. So what we're going to do next is we're going to start and do our mats and layers. So what I did, this was the second shape in. So we're going to take the next shape and we're going to pop this one onto here. So I've taken the next layer in and die cut that one, and I've die cut that from that fabulous Winter Wonderland card stack. Seriously, if you haven't got one of these in your stash, I would definitely be adding one. They are amazing value. You get 72 sheets in, so you get 36 sheets of card and 36 sheets of paper, but the colours are just beautiful. So we're going to take the next layer in, and we're going to take, have you seen them yet? Have you seen the new chisel tip glue pens? If not, you went into a treat. Okay, so we've got the brand new chisel tip glue pens on the website now. Just trying to find some scrap paper. And they are fabulous, okay? The glue that is in these glue pens is super, super sticky. This is mine that I've had on the go for quite a while now. So these are our new chisel tip glue pen. So it's a dries clear glue. So it comes out like, it looks like a milky colour, but it dries clear. So what we're going to do is take our glue and just hold the angle towards me. So basically you want the chisel tips that's like flat down. Does that make sense? So you can see how it's got the chisel. So I'm holding that flat and I'm going to drag that along the edge of the card, like so. And this glue is really, really nice and sticky. So it'll hold your sparklish splitters. Now we've had a couple of emails recently asking about if this will hold the chunkier sparklish splitters. It will grab them, but it won't hold them, so to speak. So basically, because the chunky glitters have a lot bigger kind of flakes of glitter in, that's the best way to describe it, I think. It needs something to kind of grab hold of. So a PVA glue kind of allows them to grab and hold, whereas a glue pen's just more of like a surface adhesive, if that makes sense. Okay, so I'm going to take glass slipper now, which is the finest sparklicious, and I'm going to just cover the card blank with the glitter. So you can see how this is then going to give us that lovely little glittery edge. Okay, so hold that up. There we go. And you can see, look at the pearlescence on that paper as well. It is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to pop that one down to one side. It's going to go back into the jar. That's my glitter and paper. Okay, and then I've got another layer. So I've got some silver mirror card. Okay, that I've cut from the fancy squares. And then I've got a piece of the slightly paler glue that I've cut from my Winter Wonderland cardstock, and I've got, this is one of my favourite papers from the new Festive Fancies foiled paper pad. It is absolutely beautiful. So this is like, it's like a smoky kind of blue colour. Really, really pretty, but it's got all of the foliage and like kind of foiled onto there. So I've got that layer to go on the top. So I'm going to take this plain blue square, which I've die cut with the basic squares dies. And I'm going to take my chisel tip, I'm going to drag it along each edge. Like so. And then I'm going to get rid of that. I'll keep that so we can reuse on another project. And then we're going to grab in the glass slipper glitter. And sprinkle this over. And we're going to cover it like so. And this is again just going to give that little glittery border just around the edge. Okay. So I'm going to pop that back into the jar, like so. And then I'm going to build this up. So I'm going to be using my foam pads. Now, trust me, the foam pads, they are coming, they'll be back in stock within the next week, okay? But we've basically, look at this, this is taking over the full, we've basically had them kind of remade, and we've got them in our fabulous brand new branded boxes. So we're going to do them in 3mm and in 2mm decks. So on the 3mm pad, you get 1,000. On the 2mm pad, you get 1,500. And then you get your roll of foam pads. Now these foam pads, they've got an easy lift back, which makes it even easier for you to kind of lift the backs off them. They also obviously come on a reel and they come within this box, so for storing them, it's absolutely ideal. So I just have a few little bits that I've pared off, and then I'll just keep the rest in my box like so. Okay, so I'm going to just put this back, put that back in the drawer. Okay, so I'm going to grab these layers in now. So my next layer, my blue layer, is going to go onto my card blank flat. Okay, I'm feeling a right mess here, sorry everyone. So I'm going to take my Kalal glue, just to stick this one down like so. Okay, I noticed there was a question there about the glue as well. So with your art glitter glue, you don't need to do anything to the tip at all. It's the right size to fit the little nozzle on, so please don't cut it or anything like that. What you will find is, if you unscrew the lid, there'll be like a little seal that you just peel off from the top of the glue, and then it'll flow through. Okay? So what I'm going to do now is put some foam pads on the back of this layer here. This is my mirror card layer. So I'm using the 3mm foam pads, and we've made these so that the backs are so easy to peel off them, and they lift away from the paper stock really easily as well. I'm going to put some foam pads onto the back of this little square too, so you can see how this is all coming together. Okay. Like so. So we'll quickly get the backs off these. And get stuck onto our card blank. Knew I'd missed one there. There we go. And then I'm going to stick that into the centre, like so. So you can see how that's all nicely coming together when we mat layer it. Right, we're going to get rid of these back pins. Okay. There, and then we're going to stick our piece of patterned paper onto the front. So I'm just going to stick that on flat. So again, I'll just use a little bit of Kalal to do that. Okay, and then we're going to pop that down onto there. Okay, so you can see how that's all mats and layers coming really nicely together. So what we're going to do next is we're going to stick our beautiful poinsettia in the top corner. So to do that, I'm going to take my Kalal 3D glue, and I'm going to put like a massive blob, like I'll get a bit carried away. So you want a big blob of glue in the top corner. And then we're going to give this a little kind of shimmy, just to shuffle it down a little bit. Okay? And then what I've done is I've taken the lovely holly tag die. So it comes as a set like this. So you get your 3 different sizes of your tags. So I've taken one with the holly, and I've also taken my sentiments, and we're going to stamp a sentiment onto the tag. So I've cut 2 tags out. I've put one out of the darker blue, and I've put one out of just some white card. And then I'm going to grab, I want my anti-static bag, I've put it down somewhere, there it is. I'm going to pop the anti-static bag, give that a little twist over. Okay, and then we're going to take our sentiment. So I'm going to use This is one of our new acrylic blocks again, which will be coming in very soon. I'm going to do, should we do Happy Christmas? So let's do Christmas. There's a happy on there, I saw it before. Happy. Okay. So I'm going to shuffle that down a little bit and do it like that. Just to be different. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do, just start with an anti-static bag. And then I'm going to take my clear embossing ink pad. I'm going to ink up my sentiment. And then we're going to place that down onto our tag and press. Then we're going to lift that away. And we are going to grab our metallic silver superfine embossing powder. I'm going to sprinkle that over the top and tap away the excess so you can see how perfectly that's then clung onto the sentiment. Okay, Andrew, if you find that the colours make your card wrinkle and you're using far too much, you need a tiny bit. It looks like I'm putting a lot on, but what I tend to do is just very, very finely scrape the surface. I don't put loads of glue on, if that makes sense. I only twist the lid up a little way, so it looks like a lot, but actually it's not at all. So I'm going to heat up my sentiment. Okay. And I think these tags are lovely for Christmas, and obviously for adding as little extras on your project. Okay, so we've got Happy Christmas there. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take our, where's my piece of paper that I was gluing on? This piece here. I'm going to take that, and I'm going to take the glass slipper again and my chisel tip glue pen. And I'm going to take my little chisel and just kind of edge around this tag. Like so. I love this tag as well because it's got all the stitching detail in too, which I think is really, really pretty. Okay. So I'm going to just pop that down there. And then we're going to use our glass slipper glitter. Okay. I'm going to cover this under here. Like so, and then I'm going to take the paintbrush just to dust away any excess there. Then that's going to go straight back into the jar. Okay, get rid of that. And then I'm going to stick these two tags together, as I'm going to stick them a little bit kind of like that, so you can see a little bit of the blue one behind. So to do that, I think what I'll do is just use a little bit of a foam pad, stick a bit there, and just a little bit there. Okay, so we'll do that like that. Okay, and then I'm going to grab in our brand new Luxe ribbon. Okay, so this ribbon is gorgeous. This is a new roll as well. Honestly, when I got my sample of these and I had to make the cards, I was like, can I please have some more? And it was like, no, this is the only sample that we've got. We've been waiting for this for so long, but it's so pretty. So I'm using Night Sky, and if I hold this up, I want to try and show you the texture. Look, oh no, I'm going the wrong way. Am I going the wrong way? There we go. Look at that. It is absolutely beautiful. So you can see how it's like that navy blue, but it's woven with a beautiful silver thread. So what we're going to do is take this, I'm going to do my absolute best to show you how to tie a bow. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by hanging the ribbon over my index finger. So I start with a shorter length to the front and a longer length to the back, so you can see how that's kind of hanging. I'm going to take the piece that's at the back, I'm going to wrap it around my third finger and then back to the middle. So you can see what I'm doing is, if I twist my fingers, can you see how I'm making a figure of 8 in the middle? Okay? Then we're going to wrap it back round again, and we're going to go once more. So it's like a figure of 8, you're going up, down, up, down. You're going to take this length of ribbon that's at the back and you're going to cross it over. So it crosses and uses this at the back, and then we've got our piece of ribbon going underneath here. We're going to take the shorter piece, we're going to hold the longer piece in place, so I tend to just wrap that around my thumb like this, and then we're going to take this and wrap it all the way around. Can you see that? It's really, really difficult for me to show you, but I'm basically going to wrap it around and then tuck it down like so. Okay, so you can then see how that grabs into the middle and starts to form the centre of our bow. So that's when I turn it round and I grab and tie a knot like this. Okay, and then when we take this off my fingers, you can see that then creates that beautiful, beautiful bow. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut the ends off at an angle. So I'm going to cut this one off about there, and this one off about here. I love the noise that it makes as well when you cut it. So we're going to pop that onto there. I can see there's a couple of comments about the glass slipper glitter. So basically, glass slipper was brought out because we used to have a glitter called Radiant, but the film that Radiant was cut from was basically discontinued. So we spent, it must have been, my word, it'll have been 18 months coming up 2 years trying to source a replacement, and we eventually found it, but it wasn't an exact match for Radiant, so we had to bring it out under like a different name, so we called it glass slipper. So you've got glass slipper that's like that's very, very similar to Radiant, and you've got diamante sparkle that's very, very similar to Princess. So basically glass slipper is like the finer one, and diamante sparkle is the slightly thicker one. Okay, so what we're going to do now is add our tag onto our card. So it's all about just building up a little bit of dimension, a few layers on here. So I'm going to tuck my tag in here. So let me grab a couple of foam pads. Let's just stick this onto there and take that away. Tag about there. And then I'm going to put a blob of glue gel into the middle of my bowl. That's going to get stuck onto there. So you can see how that's starting to come together. Okay, now what I've done next is I've taken the winter foliage stamp set, okay, and I've taken the little pine branch, so I've taken this one here and the smaller one, and actually what I've also done is, because it really annoys me when you lose half the acetate for your stamp, so I've put a piece of tape across the top, so then it kind of folds back over. Anyway, that's a different story, so I'll continue with what I was telling you. So I've used the 2 pine branches, I've stamped some onto white card and embossed them in silver, and then added a little bit of diamante sparkle glitter onto there. Okay, so you can see that one there. And then I've also done some onto white card and embossed them in green. So I've used Hollywood Hills, but if you've got frosted fir at home or sparkling spruce, anything like that, those will work perfectly. So I've embossed those and then added a little bit of diamante sparkle on the top. So what we're going to do now is just kind of shape these, just give them a little pinch. So I've got quite a few here that I've already done ahead of time, just to kind of get ahead, because I've got so much that I want to show you all today. So I'll add a blob of glue just onto the back, and then what we can do is just start to build up the foliage behind the poinsettia. So then we'll add some green ones in as well. So I'm just pinching them down the middle. Oops. And putting a blob of glue gel on the end. Let's get one in here, I think. So, can just keep building these up. Right, that one in there. Add another couple of green ones in, I think, just to kind of give it that extra little bit of bling. Bit of sparkle. I think I'll have the one at the top. See, I'll get really carried away now. This is when I'm like, need to put the foliage down, really need to stop. But we just keep going. Slide that bit underneath there. And then you can see how that has all come together. Okay, so that one, that'll be our first card to give away. So keep leaving your comments throughout the video and then I'll pick people at the end to give away the cards that I've made. So that's the first one that we've done. So that was using your Grande Poinsettia, the holly tags, the beautiful papers and the dies that we have in the range. Sandra's asking, do you make envelope boxes for your cards? No, I just tend to make a box, to be honest, and then I like to decorate them up with a bit of patterned paper or something like that. I find that works really, really well. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put a picture of some finished samples in, and I'll turn the microphone off so you can't hear me rustling in the background, and I'll get all the bits and pieces out for my next demo. So I think for the next one we'll use the 3D embossing folders because I really do want to show you those because they are absolutely stunning. So I'll pop the finished sample pictures in now, and I will be back in a couple of minutes. Hello everyone, so I'm back. So I'm going to show you how to use the fabulous 3D embossing folders next. So that's going to be the next project that we do. And it's actually one of the cards that we saw in that little photo that I put in there. So I really hope that you're going to enjoy this demo. So this one is using the 3D embossing folders. And these are seriously, they're like fabulous if you want to make loads of quick cards, but you want them to have like maximum impact. So this is what we're going to be making during this project. Okay then, so I'll pop you the camera on so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we are going to start off by taking the 3D embossing folder, and I absolutely love this design. So it's this one here, it's the Pretty Poinsettias folder, just opening a new one, so mine's at home. Again, mine's got my name written on it and everything. I was like, nobody's getting that one is mine. So I'm going to just open this up. Oh, this is stuck with some strong tape. Just into that. There we go. What you could do as well actually is if you've got a knife you could just slit across the top, that would probably be easier. Because it is lovely the packaging now, isn't it? I love it. Anyway, right then. So what we are going to do is we're going to start, so basically the back of your folder, so the debossed effect is the one that's got the logo on. If you want it to be embossed, you want to work with it with that at the back of the folder, if that makes sense. It doesn't matter too much for this project, but if you're using like a double-sided paper, then obviously it would. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to grab my guillotine just to trim my card down. So I'm going to trim this down to 6 inches, roughly. Okay. And I'm going to pop our 3D embossing folder through our die cutting machine. Now I'm really hoping that I can remember the combination for a 3D folder, because you know when you just have a bit of a mind blank? Mine's just gone completely blank, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to put it through and then I'll tell you what the combination was. If you hear my machine making funny noise, please assume that I've done it wrong. Okay, so we're going to run this through, like so. That was the wrong combination, everyone. I'm going to quickly run this through. Like so. Okay. So you can see the effect that that is then given on the white pearl card. Okay. It is so pretty. Now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to have, because this Gemini isn't actually the same, I've got two Geminis, so this isn't my Gemini from home. So what I'm just wondering is, just bear with me 2 seconds everyone. This is what it's like in my craft room, you can imagine now. It's an absolute nightmare. So, I'm wondering, okay, so to get the result that I've just shown you here, I've used, now because these are 3D embossing folders, it's not your 2 clear plates, okay? It is your base plate. Yeah, I've gone too far with that one. Right, it's your base plate and your plastic shim. So it's literally one of your cutting plates and your plastic shim. If you find that's not quite thick enough, add in your metal shim, which is this one here. Now I didn't do this to my metal shim. This was Ross in the office, so my shim's a bit bent. But you add your metal shim in, okay? Not your metallic one. Okay then. So you can see how beautiful that 3D embossing folder is. And if I bring that in really close, I don't know whether it's going to be able to tell you whether you'll be able to see on the camera. Can you see the text in the background? Oh yes, it's picking it up. It is such a stunning embossing folder. It is absolutely gorgeous. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim that down to size and ready to go on the front of my card. So I'll just grab my guillotine in. Now I would use my guillotine to do this because you do not want to run this through with the die because it'll squish your embossing. Okay. It's going to be perfect to all my little mat and layer that I've already got cut down. So what I then did is I've taken a lovely piece of patterned paper from this is from the Festive Fancies printed paper pad. Okay, so that's that one. I've taken a piece of our red matte mirror. That's going to be my next layer, and then I've got my embossed layer to go on the top. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of black paper, and I'm going to use silver crystal. Okay, now this silver crystal was released with the last collection. So it was released with the issue 7 box kit, and I'm obsessed with this glitter. It is stunning. So it's like a silver, but it's like a more warm silver. Really, really pretty. Okay. What I'll do, Patrice, is I will pop the combination on the blog, on the website. Leave that with me. When we have, I'll try and do my plate combination post. Leave that with me and I will try and get onto that this week. So this particular silver crystal glitter isn't like ultra chunky. So I've personally found that the Chisel glue pens kind of held it. So what I do is take my glue pen, holding it at that slight angle, drag along the edge, and then I dunk it into my pot of glitter. Like so. Okay. Later and see Astronaut Sparkle Points, there's a video on the website showing you exactly how to do that. So if you scroll down to the very, very bottom of the website, there's a page that says Sparkle Points. If you click on there and scroll down, there's a video showing you exactly how to do it. Okay? You can see how that then gives that lovely glittery edge. around the side of the paper. Okay, so I'm going to pop that one to one side and I'm going to grab in my embossed piece. I'm going to do exactly the same on this one. So all I'm doing is holding my pen at a very slight angle, dragging it towards me. I'm going to dump that into our silver crystal glitter. Now you'll probably see this a little bit clearer in this one. You can see the sparkle around the edge there. It is absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to pop that to one side. Okay, pop the lid back on there, so we're done with that one for now. And I've taken some red mirror card from my, this is from the 8x8 mirror card pads, okay, that we've got on the website. So I'm going to take my 3D embossing folder again, and I'm going to run this through on my mirror card. Get that in there. These are 6x6 in size as well, these folders, they are absolutely perfect. I'm going to run that through my Gemini. So the key to my container, it's a lock and lock box. It doesn't actually say what size it is, which isn't very useful. But it's a lock and lock, okay? I'm not quite sure. It's like this size, about the size of my hand. If that helps. Doesn't really give any details on it, but oh, it's a 360 millimetre, the 360 millilitre one. Okay. So we take that off. You can see how we've then got that beautiful poinsettia embossed in the middle of the card. Joe, I can see you're asking, do I gut my paper? Yes, I normally do, because I like to put my mats and layers out from the middle, and I just use my dies because I'm lazy. But I was in a bit of a rush this morning, so I haven't had a chance to do it yet, so I am sorry everyone. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take this and we're going to cut some layers out. Now while we're cutting layers out of that one, I'm going to run a green one through. So the green, funny story to this one as well, I was on a right little mission this morning, hunting around the unit for some green paper or card, and I eventually found some in the blooming paper pad. So it wasn't even a sheet of card that I had to go and find, it was there in front of me all along. But never mind, we know for future reference. So we'll run this through our machine again. So that's on its way, and while that's on its way, I'm really worried about the plates because it's going to shoot out the other side. There we go, you can see it's pieced it a little bit deeply with the pink paper, just on some of the points, but that's fine. So what I'm going to do, I'm trying to figure out how I cut this out, because I made this card a little while ago. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to work my way around and cut my poinsettia out. So I'm going to do this with scissors. Because this design is so absolutely stunningly beautiful. See it done. I think this might be my Christmas cards for the year, you know. So all I'm doing is following the line from the embossed pattern. Like so. Okay, and then we're going to take this one and pop this over the top now. So there's always the challenge, figuring out which way around it. Oh, I've cut a leaf off. No, I knew I'd done that. Oh, that's annoying. I might have to do another one now. Okay, so you can see basically the idea was that we then start to layer it up. So then I'm going to take my red mirror card. I'm going to roughly trim around the edge of here. Now I'm going to have a little look at my finished card to figure out which leaves that I cut out. So, cut this bottom one out. What I should do is I should try and do a little cutting guide for the vlog, shouldn't I? I'll see if I can get onto that at some point. That probably won't be this week. Trim this one out. So basically all I'm doing is looking at the poinsettia and like going, would that be near the front or would it not? There's no right or wrong way to do this really. Actually, do you know what? We can salvage this. I'm going to show you how to salvage it in a moment. So I'll just trim around this one. Sorry, this is probably really boring to watch, but you know, it's kind of essential to the project. So we'll work around trimming this out, like so. We'll leave that one on. Yeah, I left that one on. This is always the hardest layer, I think, the first one, and once you do this one, it's dead easy after that. Do that one there. I'm going to cut that leaf away from the background. Trim that away there. Keeping this one, yeah, we're keeping this one at the bottom. So it looks like a bit of a random shape, but trust me, it comes back together. Okay. So that then fits there. The poinsettia dies a different shape to the embossing folder as well, that way. I can see a couple of you were asking about that. Okay, let me pop that in the bin, get rid of that little bit, and then I'm going to salvage that little green piece that I've missed. I reckon this could work. Go back in, trim that out with the scissors, and that's going to go in there, and you'd never know. Okay, so what we're then going to do is we're going to take another piece of the red mirror card. I'm just trying to work this out to try and get the most out of the sheet, to be honest. So really, we just want that centre bit. So if we kind of look there. Trim the square out. And then that'll go onto there. And then we'll run that through our machine. Okay, so just give me 2 seconds, that's just me throwing my guillotine on the floor. I'll run that through the Gemini again. And grab that at the other side. And lift this away. Okay, you can see. Now on the mirror card, what I've actually done is because it's a much thicker material on this layer, I've actually added in my metal plate in my Gemini, but again, just try the tension on your machine. But that seems to have worked a little bit better, it's given it a little bit more definition. So I'm going to run this through again, so we're basically going to have like 3 layers to the poinsettia. I'm just going to cut away on a little kind of stopper mirror card. It's going to go in the middle. I'll run through like so. Okay, so then we'll just run that through our machine again. Okay, and we'll grab that out the other side. Okay, and we're going to take that out of the folder, and then you can see that lovely embossed detail that we've got there. So what we're going to do on this one is basically just going to cut out the poinsettias, the leaves, sorry, that are at the forefront. So this is dead easy to do. So we've got 2 more layers, so we're doing these larger ones first. So just trim around. Actually, what I should have done, I'm annoyed with myself that I didn't, is when I made this card, because what annoys me is the mirror card, obviously mirror card's made on just a white card, and it's like a foil applied over the top basically. You get like the white edges showing sometimes. So what I actually did is dragged like a Copic marker just around the edge, so then when you layered it up you didn't get the harsh white edges, if that makes sense. So any red pen at all will do. So that layer one more. So just going to cut the smaller poinsettia out from the middle. But the girls have done some fabulous samples with these, just using the inks and gilding waxes over the top as well. It works so incredibly well. Okay then, so what we're going to do next is we're going to just start to build this up. So we're going to stick that green layer down flat, so I'll just use a little bit of glue just on the back of here. I'm going to stick that little bit that I missed first, and then I know that that's in place. I'll go down there, roughly about there. Then we'll pop a little bit of glue just onto the back, and then we just need to work out where these petals line up. So that lines up there. Like so, okay, and then we'll start to add our poinsettia layers in. So I just gave these like a little bit of shape just with my fingers, just to bend them a little bit, and then I use a little bit of 3D glue gel just onto the back like so. So need to just figure out what goes where. So I think that lines up roughly like that. Yeah. Okay, and I'll do exactly the same on the next layer. A little bit of glue on the back. Just go there. Like so. And the next one goes on the top of here. Okay. A little bit of glue on the back. Just work around. You just figure out. Just go that way. It's like a little jigsaw, isn't it? And goes onto there. Like so. Okay. So what I then do is I take my red poinsettia glitter, which I think I must, I haven't put it in the box. I was so organised today. Grab some of this in. Okay. And then we're going to add some tiny, so literally tiny dots of glue. So this is when this art glitter, dries clear glue, it comes into its own. So basically, just going to go in, and I am a little bit more careful when I do it this way compared to how I normally just whack the dots on. I'm not quite as random, I'm a little bit more controlled, and I try and make sure that the dots are really nice and tiny. So you can see it looks a little bit weird now, and what I also like to do is try and concentrate the little dots towards the centre of the flower. Okay, so it's really easy to do. Not doing anything difficult, it's just, sometimes it just takes a little bit of practice, that's all it is. Okay. So we can run it around. It looks really random when you see all these horrible little white dots on here, but trust me, when we get the glitter on, it takes it to another level. Okay. So what we can then do is take a little bit of paper. Sprinkle this over. Oh, if I thought about this, I should have done my edging at the end, but never mind, we'll just try and be careful. Okay, so if I hold that up close, can you see how it just adds a little bit of sparkle just onto there? Okay, so what we can then do, it's really hard to show you on the camera because obviously the light really bounces back off the mirror card, but it's a lovely holographic glitter. So what we can then do is I just went in and kind of just went for it with some self-adhesive jewels and things. So I've got some jewels here, just in a variety of sizes, and I also took my bling box. Somewhere. So I took one of the big red jewels from the bling box and that went in the middle. Like so, okay? And then I'm going to take my pokey tool, which I've got here, and I just went in and kind of added some jewels just onto where the little berries and things are in the background. So you can just add these in. So I like to use like a variety of different sizes of jewels too. So I like to use some, they're a bit too big, not those ones. Some never seen size. Interesting. Yeah, a bit more in the middle. So I like to use like a few different sizes of jewels just in the background, just to kind of add in like so. And also, because the centre looks really kind of just a little bit plain in the middle, I like to go in and just add some little silver jewels. And what you'll find is that just helps to kind of draw the eye. Into the middle of the design. So it's a little bit fiddly because obviously you don't want your glue to move too much, but you can just right. And see that lots of you are asking about orders and things on the comments. If you, instead of asking on the comments, please can you just email info@chloescreativecards.co.uk. There are seriously so many comments that come in on here, and I'm literally here doing the video. We're not kind of moderating the comments as we go. If you just email info@chloescreativecards.co.uk, we'll be able to help you. Okay, so we're just working our way through. Adding the jewels on. Try not to knock the top off the glitter as well. Okay. Like so. So you can see how that then starts to bring it all nicely together. So again, you can just go in with a few little jewels. Adding these in the background, dotting them about like so. Okay, a few more jewels. Can never have too many jewels. So we literally just add them in like this. It is so easy to do. One more in. A few more. And you can see how just by spending your time adding your little jewels into the background here, how well this all then starts to come together. So I'll add a couple more. You can just kind of carefully pop these in. So pop this there. Okay, just add these in like so. It's really easy to do. It's not kind of difficult or anything like that. I'm just following the design really. Another couple in. I know this is probably the least exciting part for you all to be watching, but it's worth it, trust me. So we'll add some smaller ones in as well. add these about. So on the finished sample I did actually use some AB white pearls, and they're coming in a little bling box very soon hopefully. So keep your eyes peeled for those. These all over, just like this in the background. Like so. Okay. And then what I would probably do is take some little, these are like tiny jewels, so just take some of these as well. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to change my mind. I'm going to, instead of doing that, I'm going to go in with my silver crystal glitter that we all know I'm really obsessed with. And we are going to pop some little dots into the background. So if I just show you how, it's really easy how to do this actually. So basically, you can just go in . Add little dots like that in the background with your glue. Again, teeny tiny little dots, okay? I can't emphasise that enough. You don't want to put massive dots, just teeny tiny little dots. And then when we sprinkle that glitter over, you can see how it'll just add a little bit of texture into the background. Like so. Okay? There we go. So I'm going to pop that back away there. And then I'm going to build my base card up. So let's get rid of some of this mess. I've got a lovely mess going on over here. So I've got my base card. And we're going to stick our patterned paper onto there. So again, to do that, I'm going to use a little bit of this is Collal all-purpose. So again, it looks like I'm putting loads of glue on here, but the reality is I'm not, I'm just spreading it about a bit. So I'm going to pop that onto there. And again, how incredible does that silver crystal glitter look in the background as well? So just hold that up. Oh, I really wish we could get the sparkle. I feel like I need a sparkle camera or something just to show you how sparkly it is, because it looks so pretty in real life. I just don't think that's quite coming across on the camera. So I'm going to take the backs off of here. Like so. So this is my red matte mirror. It's going to go on the middle. And again, of course, if you wanted to, you could be putting the middles out with your dies, because they are beautiful papers, so you might as well do. I was just a bit pushed for time doing my prep, so I didn't really have a chance to do that this morning. Yeah, I need some foam pads. Grab some more of these. Put that in half. That'll go on there. So then we'll just quickly peel the backs off of these. Get the right pig's ear of that part. There we go. And then we'll pop that onto our base card. Now obviously because you've got script in the background, you want to make sure that script's the right way up. Okay, so then to finish this one off, all I would do is I take a little piece of crystal white card. Okay, I'm going to give that a little dust with an anti-static bag. So I've really just made the camera shape, but I didn't have sorry about that, everyone. I'm looking for my acrylic block. And there it is. Okay, I'm going to take the sentiment that's got on there off and put Happy Christmas, like so, and I'm going to change that to 'Tis the Season. It's a nice little sentiment, I think, for this one. I'm going to give that a quick ink up with our clear embossing pad. I'm going to pop that down in the middle and press. Okay. Paper again. Yeah, I've got a lovely glittery mess on my lovely new floor down here as well, I have to say. Then we can sprinkle that metallic silver over the top, and then we'll heat this up. Like so. So I'll just give that like a couple of minutes just to kind of cool down before we pop that through the die cutter machine. Okay, and then I'm going to grab, this is the smallest little tag from the holly tag set. I'm going to place that over the 'Tis the Season. And just tape that into place. And we'll super quickly run this through our die cutting machine. Grab my plates in here. Okay. And that's going to go in there. We'll run that through. Like so. We take that away. We've got a lovely little tag. Sentiment ready to go on the project, and you can see how these little sentiments have been sized to match in with the dies as well. So we'll pop that onto there, and then let me grab my chisel tip again, and my silver crystal glitter is this one, and we're just going to edge there. Pop a couple of foam pads at the back of there, I think, and there's just one. Foam pad across there. And there we go. And that, I hope that will show you. That would then be your lovely finished card. So that one is using the Pretty Poinsettia 3D embossing folder. Okay, so that is our second project of the day. So again, what I'll do is I'll pop a little slide in with some finished samples, and then I will get ready and show you the layering stamps next. Okay, so I'm going to pop a little finished sample in with the layering, with one of the layering stamps, and I will be back in 2 moments. I am going to mute the microphone so you can't hear me rustling in the background. Right everyone, I am back. So this, the project that we've got on the screen now with the background is what we are going to be making next, okay? I'm just trying to find the little graphic to show you how these stamps work. Okay, I think I've got it. I think I've got the right red ink pad as well. Well, I hope I have, if not, it'll just be a random colour. Okay then, so this is the project that we're going to be making next. So we're going to be using the fabulous layering stamps. So this is a new concept for us. So we've actually had these drawn up for quite a while now, but we've just never got around to kind of producing them. But they are here now, which is all very exciting. So the layering stamps come in 3 different pieces, okay? So you've got your first layer, that in this case is going to be green. You've got your second layer, that's going to be red. And then you've got your detail layer on the top, which I am recommending that you actually emboss, okay? Which is a little bit different. So these stamps, if you notice, it's probably easier to show you on this one. They've all got rounded corners, bar one, okay? And you'll see this when you get them home. So the one that's square in the corner, that's how you know which corner you're lining up each time. And this is where, I know these blocks have been a long time in the making, but this is where it's all going to make sense. So basically, we want it, when we bring out products, we're never going to bring you something that you're not really going to need. It's always going to have a purpose. So the acrylic blocks that we're bringing actually has a little like square in the corner. So then you know when you're lining these stamps up that if you place the square, not the rounded corner on that square, you know which part you're lining up each time, okay? So the concept behind all this will all become clear very, very soon, okay? But what we're going to do is we're going to get started. So I've got a little graphic that I'm going to put in to show you while I get my stamp ready on the block. So if I switch this round, let me get the buttons right. This one, there we go. Okay then. So you can see how you've got your base layer, which you're stamping your green. You've got your second layer that you're going to stamp in your red. And then you've got your layer after that you are going to stamp in your or emboss. Well, you're going to emboss it actually, aren't you? Not stamp it. What am I on about? So that is the concept behind these stamps. Okay. So I'm going to flip this round. There we go. So I've got my stamp on my acrylic block, and these stamps are all photopolymer as well, made in the UK. So they are going to make sure that the ink transfers really nicely from them onto your finished project. So I'm using, sorry, I'm not telling you what ink pad I'm using. So I have these in my craft stash at home. So I've got, this is just a Spectrum Noir quick dry dye ink pad. And the colour that I'm using is called Pine Tree, okay? So I'm going to ink up my stamp. I want to make sure you've got a nice even coating of ink on there. Okay. I'm going to pick this up, and this is just some plain white card, and I'm going to stamp the first layer down. Okay, right, so I'm sorry if I'm rocking the camera, but I do need to kind of put a bit of pressure on the stamp. Okay, then we're going to lift that off. So you can see that's our first layer. What we're going to do is repeat that slightly higher up, but I'm going to leave a gap in the middle so that we can wrap some ribbon around the middle. Move that up out of the way. I'm going to re-ink my stamp because it's a coloured ink pad. Okay, and then we're going to re-stamp this. So we're going to position this down, we'll leave a little gap in the middle for some ribbon. I'm going to stamp that down there. So again, you want your firm even pressure all over the stamp. So the colour that I'm using is called Pine Tree. Okay, then I'm going to lift this off. You can see how you've got that lovely image there. So that's your background layer. So that in effect is your green layer. Okay, so we're going to take the next layer in, which is this one. And we're going to stamp this one in red. Okay, so I'm going to take this off the acetate. Okay, and then I'm going to pop this onto my block. Oh, thank you all so much for your comments as well. I'm so pleased that you're enjoying today's live. It's been a long one. Thank you for sticking with me. Okay, so I'm going to re-ink my stamp, and again I'm using one of the quick dry Spectrum Noir ink pads, and this one's called Chinese Red. Okay, so this is a nice red ink pad. To be honest, I've had so many red ink pads as well that aren't the right red, whereas this one was quite a nice red, I thought. So just ink up our stamp. Lots of tapping all over. You want to make sure you've got a good coverage of ink on there. Okay. And then we're just going to hover and line this up over the top. So ideally you would be stood directly above, but it's quite an artsy kind of impression, so if you don't get it spot on, I wouldn't stress about it too much. Okay, firm even pressure, lift that off, do exactly the same on the other side. And what you'll find is as well with the photopolymer stamps is once they start to absorb a little bit of the ink, they just get better and better. I like them when they've kind of worn in a little bit, especially if you're using coloured ink pads. Okay. So then what we're going to do is we're going to do exactly the same again. Helps if you keep the paper the right way up so you know which way you're lining it. So all you're going to do is just hover like so. Okay. I do like to make sure I get plenty of pressure on there, especially when it's like a solid stamp, and lift that off. And you can see how that is then looking. So you can make this up to create your own background. It's not a fully repeatable pattern, but to be honest with you, even if you kept lining it up to try and repeat it, I think you could get away with it, to be honest. So I'm going to take that one off. And we're going to bring in the top layer next. So what you need to do before you kind of try to emboss on top of here is you want to make sure that your ink is completely dry, because if that ink's wet at all, the embossing powder is going to cling to it. So what I always do, take my heat gun, and I give it a really good blast over. And I really make sure that that ink is really nice and dry. Okay, so when you're doing this, especially if you're going to emboss, I would absolutely recommend using dye-based ink pads. Don't use pigments, because the pigment inks, they are much slower drying, so what you can find is your embossing powder is just going to cling to them, which obviously for this particular kind of project, you just do not want. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to take our detailed stamp. We're going to start by giving this a really good dust with an anti-static bag. So make sure you get plenty of powder out of that anti-static bag and give it a really good dust over. Okay, pop to one side. Then we'll have a clear embossing ink pad which I've tidied away somewhere. Where have I put that? It was all going so well. It's under my packaging. Right, so I'm going to ink our stamp. So tapping all all over the image. I'm going to get my gold embossing powder out. So this is my metallic gold rich superfine. Okay. And then I'm going to hover. Right, I'm going to stand up to do this. I'm really sorry if you get my head in the shot, but it's going to be worth it. So I'm going to stand up, so I'm looking directly over the stamp. Once I'm happy, I'm going to press. Again, firm even pressure all over the stamp. Lift off, and that's not too bad if I say so myself. Okay, then straight on with your metallic gold rich superfine embossing powder. Any excess goes straight back into the jar, and then I'm going to heat this up. So we are just holding that heat gun still, and as soon as that powder changes, I'm just moving it over the image. There we go. So you can see the difference between the bottom ones that have got the detail over and the top ones. You can see Trisha's saying, would the stamping platform be easier? Honestly, not a fan, so I don't actually use them. I just prefer acrylic blocks. But if that works for you, you go for it. But I'm not a huge fan of them, to be honest. Right, so just a little bit at the bottom there. Okay, so we're going to do exactly the same at the top. Sorry, the camera is shaking because I was really inking my stamp up there, as you can tell. So again, I'm going to hover over the image. And then as soon as I'm happy, I'll place that down and press. And you want firm even pressure all over the stamp. Oh sorry, just got my shoulder in there. My glittery shoulder. So I'm going to take that out, okay, and lift that off, and then you can see we've got that detail with all of the poinsettias on there. So what we'll do is sprinkle that over again, tap away the excess. Okay, and then we're going to heat this up with our heat gun again. Okay, I love that, Becky. Don't worry about the shaking, it makes it seem dramatic. So I'm going to heat this up. Like so. Okay, and then you can see how quickly that's come together. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken a card blank and I've made it 6 by 8 in size. The gold wow powder that I'm using so is just metallic gold rich super fine. It's that one. There we go. Don't know if the camera's going to focus on it or not, but it's metallic gold rich super fine, so it's just a plain gold. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to mat and lay my card up. So I've just taken some papers from the printed paper pad. a little bit of collal on the back, and then I'm going to stick that down flat onto my card blank, like so. And then I've got a piece of our gold glitter card. I'm going to pop that on with some foam pads, and then I've got my red that I'm going to mat onto some matte mirror and onto my card blank, like so. I'm just going to measure what size I cut this down to. Basically, I did all those in 1/4 and 1/8 of an inch. So what I'm going to do is trim this down. Now, hopefully. So this is, so I want that down to about 5 inches, I would say. 5 by 7. Probably about right. Let me double check that, I'm panicking now. Or maybe it's just under 5 by 7. Have a little look. I'm going to take a little bit more off, just a smidge. It's like 1/8 of an inch off. Right. Oh, look at that, perfect. Okay, so get rid of these little leftovers. Scrappy bits of paper. Okay. And then we're gonna, let's get the mats and layers done first, and then we can get on with some ribbon and a bow. Thank you all so much for your comments as well. I can see them all coming in. Thank you. I'm so pleased you've enjoyed today's live. It's been a bit of a long one, hasn't it, today? Right, so that's onto there. And then we're going to foam pad these layers. So let me grab, in 2 seconds, let me grab my foam pad thing. Okay. Pop these on here. And then I'm going to just peel the backs off of here. Like so. Okay. Just going to go into there, and then I'm going to put the other layer on the top as well. So I'm going to put some foam pads under here. Okay, I know a lot of you are all asking about creating crafting things as well, and when I'll be back on. Obviously with the kind of COVID-19 situation and everything, I'm not really able to travel at the moment, because I live about 3.5 to 4 hours from the studios. So at the moment I will be back, but we don't really have a time. I doubt it'll be this year, to be honest. So I will be live here on Facebook every Wednesday though. Well, most Wednesdays. I have the odd one off, but yes, most Wednesdays you will find me on here. So I've got my mats and layers done there. And then what I'm going to do next, I'm going to wrap a piece of ribbon around the middle. Okay, so I'm going to pop that in the bin to start with. And then I've picked out the gold, I picked out the red ribbon because I don't like the red. I'm going to put the gold on. It's a little bit more silvery, whereas this will look a bit prettier, I think. So we'll pop the gold across the middle, like so. And then we're going to tie a bow again. So I did show you how to do this earlier in the video, but I'll quickly show you again. So basically hang the ribbon around my index finger, okay, and then I'm going to wrap this around my 3rd finger, so it's like a figure of 8, like so. Okay, so just go up and down. Then I take the ribbon, I turn it, and I grab it at the back with my thumb. Then take the shorter length from underneath, I tuck it all the way around, and I tie a knot in the back. Okay, oops, she says. There we go, and then when I pull it off my fingers, and then that creates your lovely bow ready for your project. And I think the place where a lot of people tend to go wrong is they don't tie the knot tight enough. So you need to make sure that you're tying that knot really tight in the middle, because that's like going to make your ribbon ruche, if that makes sense. So what I'll do then is I'll snip the ends off of my ribbon, and that's ready to go onto the card. Oh, I really dramatically threw that in the bin there. And then we've got a little jewel, so again from the bling box. You can see I refer back to this all the time. So we'll fix this. Actually, we won't fix that yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take, so on the finished sample I used a slightly different ribbon because basically I didn't have this ribbon to use. And I'm going to add a little bit of glitter into the middle of the poinsettias, and I used jewels on the berries, but what I think I might do for this one is I might just use that red poinsettia glitter again, so that looks quite pretty, doesn't it? So I'm going to grab in, I'm just like throwing stuff everywhere, it's an absolute tip in here now. Right, so we've got red poinsettia and we'll use champagne shimmer in the middle. Okay, I love that by the way. If you love silver crystal, you need to get yourself a pot of champagne shimmer. It's like the gold equivalent. Okay? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop some dots of glue into the middle of this here. So just into the middle of the poinsettias. Do with some scrap paper somewhere. Oh, I'm getting a bit disorientated now. Got stuff all over the place. Okay then. So what we're going to do is we'll take the champagne shimmer and sprinkle that over. So it's going to form the little centres. Oops. Go back into the jar. It's such a gorgeous colour, that one as well. It's like a sandy colour. I love it. Absolutely love it. Okay. And then we're going to take the red poinsettia, which is like a holographic red. And then what we can do is just add some little dots of glue just onto the holly berries and things like that. And just a few in the background really, that's all I did. Again, just random dots. And then you can take your red poinsettia glitter, sprinkle it over, tap off the excess, and then you see the difference that makes. It just makes it pop a little bit. Okay, so what we're going to do now is go back in. Okay, do exactly the same on the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to stick this all back onto here. So what we need foam. Normally I'd stick the foam on there. Just don't want to smudge my little holly berries, you see. Normally I'd stick it on the back of what I'm sticking, but that's what I'm doing for now. How do I do this? Right, let me just have a little think. Right, I might just have to kind of hold that there. Hopefully that'll grab. This is, you can do it at home and make it a lot easier than what I am. I'm making this look really complicated and it's not. Normally I just use a bit of sticky tape on the back, but you know, it's fine. So I'll stick that there. And then what I would do is just add my bow onto there. Okay, I would like some white card as well. Oh, I'm very demanding today. Right, some white card. Just little bit away here. Right, so we're going to stamp "'Tis the Season" again. Love that sentiment. Okay, put that there, and then give this a little dust with an anesthetic, and then "'Tis the Season." Place that down and press, and then we're going to grab our metallic gold rich superfine. A little tap. Pop that back into the jar. Quickly heat this one up. And then we'll take our little tag die, okay, and pop that over the top. It's going to go onto there. And then we're going to pop that through the die cutting machine again. Okay. I'm waiting for it to come around and pushed it in. Useless. Right. There we go. Let's now come through the other side. So then we're going to tuck this. Oh, I've just, sorry, if whoever receives this card, I've just smudged the berry with my thumb. I do apologise. Right, I'm going to add a little foam pad onto the back. Like so. It's a little "'Tis the Season." And then I want my 3D glue gel. Little blob on the back. Like so, and then an extra little bling stone. Like so. And then what I did do on my finished one is I put 3 little blings there, so we'll finish this off here. One, 2, 3. And that would then be another finished card, okay? So you can see how quickly that one's come together. That was a really nice, quick and easy card to do. But if you haven't tried the layering stamps before, definitely hop on over and adding one of those into your basket. Because they are just something a little bit different to try. So let me grab in the 3 cards that we've made today. So we've made that one, we've made the one with the poinsettia, that one with the embossing folder, and we made the blue one with the Grande Poinsettia card. Okay, with the Grande Poinsettia stamp and die, sorry. So I'm going to pick 3 people now from the comments to win some cards. So the first person to win a card is going to be, let me just keep scrolling. The first one is Joanna Blakely. Thank you so much for joining me. So Joanna, if you can send an email to info@chloescreativecards.co.uk or drop us a message on Facebook, we will arrange for your card to be sent out. The next card is going to Kathleen Mitchell. I do believe it was Kathleen's birthday today, so that worked out well, didn't it? So Kathleen, again, either drop us a message on Facebook or send us an email, info@chloescreativecards.co.uk, and we'll arrange for that to be sent out. And the final one is going to, just scrolling, who's my finger landed on? Linda Allardyce. So Linda, you have won the final card as well. So please do send us an email, info@chloescreativecards, or drop us a message on Facebook, and I'll arrange for all of these to be sent out. So thank you all so much for joining me on the live today. So it was Kathleen, Joanna and Linda have won the card. So please do. I've got someone making a note next door because I'm watching live next door as they're packing your orders. So please do. If you've won a card, send your address to info@chloescreativecards.co.uk and we will arrange for these to be sent out. So thank you all so much for joining me today. I'll see you all again next Wednesday where we will have a new sample on. We're going to be stenciling next week. I might as well put the camera on so you can see me, then I'm not just talking to myself, am I? So we'll be doing a stenciled project next week. It's actually one of Becca's cards that we're making next week, so that'll be really, really nice. So I will see you all at 2 p.m. next Wednesday, right here again, live on Facebook. If you haven't done so already, please do hop over to the website, chloescreativecards.co.uk. Have a look at all of the brand new Poinsettia products that I've been using today, because there are lots of goodies on there, and there are some amazing value bundles as well where you can save I think it's up to 27% off the individual prices, which is fabulous. And yes, I will be back on here again next week. So thank you all so much for joining me, and I really hope you've enjoyed today's video. I'll pop it on YouTube later, so please do, if you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to the channel, or if you're watching on Facebook, make sure you give our page a like and you are getting notifications from our live videos, because I'm always showing you lots and lots of ideas and inspiration using our products. So I'll see you all again next week. Bye!